All right, good morning, everybody. It's Brooke. Today we have Justin Martinez here, and he's going to go
Good
over
morning.
our objection handling. Hey, Justin, how are you?
Good. Sorry, I'm a little tardy.
All good. Let me go ahead and share for everybody. All right, Justin, if you're ready, go ahead, take it away.
Sure. So I posted this on Instagram. If you guys don't know me, by the way, my name is Justin Martinez. I run a team of 6, the Martinez team. We're based out of the 10 East 53rd Street office. We basically do most of our business in Manhattan and Brooklyn, some parts of Northwest Queens. 50% of our business is with developers, 50% of our business is with common folk that are doing resales and buy condo co-op and townhouses. I'm a little winded. I just ran over here, literally couldn't find my phone about 20 minutes ago. And if, us realtors, our phone is basically our lifeline. So thank you guys for joining. But in regards to role play, I've got one of the common questions I've got, and I posted this on Instagram, like the discount brokerage, right? Like comparing us to the discount brokerage. And for most, I know we've heard this from Chirag. If a seller says, would you do 5% or 4% versus 5 or 6%, right? Like, what's the common, what's the common answer? Most people are tied to the outcome and really want the business, which I love new business, but typically for us, it's a simple no. So if any of you guys want to role play that or role play anything else, more than happy to do so.
Hey, Justin, it's Lee and Darlene in Atlanta.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, good. So we've got a little role play where we've got a seller that is doing a 4%, 2%. We're buying 2 properties, but they're doing a 2% commission on each one. So we've told our buyer, that our broker, we're not a discount broker. We may have to come back to them. We kind of told them 2.5 because that's, we're used to kind of giving in a little bit, but not a lot.
Properties.
So we went back to the seller and sent the offer with a 2.5 in there, and just wondering how we explain that to try to get the seller to pay on these properties versus the buyer, which is who we represent.
So so you guys are representing the buyer or the seller?
The buyer.
And is the buyer paying the commission or the seller's paying the commission?
The seller's paying the commission as it stands right now, but they're only willing to pay a 2% based on their FMLS fee. So when we went back with our offer, which is a good offer that he's accepted verbally, we said we'd like to raise that to 2.5%.
So that's a tough position because like our fiduciary obligation is at that point would be to the buyer, right? So yeah. So it really comes down to like how bad does the buyer want the home? Is the buyer like is he okay with you guys like taking a little bit less commission to get the home? Or in some instances, like I've had in the past where like if we do in New York City, we have REBNY, which is the Real Estate Board of New York, and that kind of governs all of the top brokerages. But then sometimes you get smaller brokerages that are not in that REBNY guideline. So, and they try to offer 1% to the buyers, they're just 2%.
Yeah.
And then I have instances where the buyer's like batting for us, like, no, I want you guys to get your money. I want the home, but I want you guys to get, your money. But in Atlanta, I know the inventory is very tight. So yeah, it's a little tough. I mean, in that instance, it's tough. It comes down to the buyer, and like, it comes down to you guys ultimately.
Yeah, we're saving the buyer some money with the negotiations, but we went back to them, and I think this is what they're talking about with the real estate commission in general across the country, with realtor fees having to be negotiated with the buyers up front. More so now than ever.
Yeah, we've never did that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we just want
that's
to put it in up your sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really honestly in that position is really, this it's not like, you're dealing with the seller and you kind of like say, all right, I could take the business or, or I
Yeah.
don't want to take the business, right? It's like you're representing a buyer and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
at least we let them know that that our commission's reduced and they're willing to probably, because of our negotiations, to fill that gap a little bit. But just wanted to see if you had any other advice.
So,
No, I haven't dealt in New York City. I haven't dealt with that scenario in a very long time.
Yeah.
Because typically our commission is like split, like the seller pays, and it's there. It's already before we take the buyer to a property. Like you already know what your commission is.
Yeah, and this is an owner agent as well on the properties.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah.
all right.
I mean, that's good to know. You could probably play a little bit more hardball and say, hey, like, my buyer wants to move on the property, but he wants, us to get a slightly higher commission, and have your buyer write a letter or something in the email where you could present that
Yeah.
to,
That's a good idea.
Okay.
to the seller.
All right. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, guys. Nice seeing you, Lena, darling. Anyone else?
Justin, this is Rena with Compass in DC. Curious,
Rena, good morning.
good morning. Curious what you present about yourself at a listing appointment.
That's a good question. So prior, it all depends, right? So some of our business, some of our new business is from we still reach out to new contacts that we have no relationship with. And some is repeat business. So that's easier, right? Because they already worked with us. And some of our business is referrals. So in the case of the new contacts and the referrals where we haven't worked with them, before our listing appointment, typically we send over basically like we call it our pitch intro email that basically highlights some comps, our marketing and communication plan that all of you guys now have, that we worked with Chirag 2 years ago. And also has some of our like our marketing brochure, something like you have like based on the one that Compass has, but we personalized it. It also has our marketing videos, and if it's a specific area that we've done businesses, listings that we've done business. But I can send you a template to the email if that's helpful.
Awesome. That'd be really interesting to see. And then when you're in the appointment, when you're face to face with the seller, I'm curious how much you go through and how you present. I just came off of a call with two of my colleagues here in Washington. We were talking about listing appointments, and I've actually I just don't usually provide background on myself. I assume if they've called me, they already know me, and I've never
Yeah.
like had to say, well, this is how much I've sold, and these are my stats, and this is my average days on market,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. I just have never really done that. So I'm curious
Okay.
what that looks like, in real time.
Well, it's always comes down to the $1 million question, right? Like, what's most important to them? Like, what specifically do they want you to go over? And when you say what's most important to them about the agent and company that's going to represent you and the home for sale, they're going to tell you exactly what they want to hear, right? So from my understanding or from my experience, it's always marketing, communication. My previous agent sucked at communication, or we just want the highest price possible. Those are typically the three trends I see. So that's kind of like, that's what you have to base your presentation on, whatever's most important to them. Does that make sense? Or
It does. Mm-hmm.
so, for example, right? So, like, like we could actually role play this if you want. You could be the seller.
Yeah, I'm happy to be the seller.
All right. So, is this like I've met you before?
No,
Brooke, can you pin her,
no,
please? Because I can't see her.
we've never met in person. So you're gonna be the agent, right?
Yeah, I'll be the agent.
Okay, so we've never met in person, but I've seen your sign in the neighborhood and, for many, many years, but we've never met. And I'm calling you and I'm calling 5 or so other agents, some with Compass, but like other well-known agents in the neighborhood.
So, thank you for reaching out to me. I'm glad you found my sign. It's great that you're interviewing other agents that will potentially list their property. From the data we've seen, 90% of sellers don't interview more than one agent. So I'm glad you're taking the time out. So before I give you some info about what we've done in the neighborhood, what's most important to you about the agent and company that's going to represent you in a home for sale?
Well, we want someone who knows what they're doing. We want someone who knows the area. And we want someone who's, going to keep us informed about what they're doing.
Got it. So it sounds like to me what's most important to you is someone that has experience selling in the area and also someone that is going to provide communication. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right.
So how about this? How about I'll send you over an email with listings I've sold in the neighborhood and also our communication plan. Because it's important, like we're confident that we're gonna sell your home. But if we don't communicate to you throughout the process, we feel like even though if we get you to the closing table, that's a failure if we don't communicate. Would that be helpful to you?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Awesome. Can you confirm your email for me?
Yep. So let's say we're sitting face to face, like we've had this phone call, you've sent me the email, and then
Okay.
we're sitting there, we've talked with 5 other agents, you're number 6. Why? So we've spoken to a bunch of people. We know a lot more now than we did a week ago. You're the last agent that we're talking to. And quite honestly, everyone's been really impressive. Everyone's very nice. We just have no idea how we're going to pick an agent. So what can you tell us about you that would be, that would help us make a decision?
Well, it comes down to I've sent you over the listings we sold in the neighborhood. I sent you our communication plan. Is there anything that you would like to specifically go over before making a decision?
Well, how are you going to get us the best price for our house?
Did you also review our marketing plan that we sent over to you? If not, I have it here. I can show it to you on my iPad.
Okay, that'd be helpful.
So here's our marketing plan. It gives you an outline of what we do on a day-to-day process to help you get to the closing table in a quicker time frame and for more money. Just have us review it for a minute and feel free to let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, that's yeah, there's that interesting reversal or pivot and asking me more questions instead of going into a presentation.
Yeah, I don't really present. I just I ask them that the marketing plan is there. If they want specific questions of how it pertains to their property, right? Then I'll go over and the marketing plan, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's online. It's the one we created with Chirag, and it highlights the pre-launch plan, right? So pre-launch is the first 2 weeks. So as soon as we sign the listing, we put it up on Compass coming soon or Compass private exclusive, depending which market you in. It has our photography days. So for my team, our photography and videography days are Thursday and Friday. And if we need to stage it, we have a week to get everything together for photography and videography for the following Thursday and Friday. But before we take the media, we blast it out. So just say we sign today, which is Monday, we put it on copies coming soon today. Tomorrow, we're already creating a digital ad for it. That way we could create a wait list. Like when the iPhone comes out, like today's WWDC about the new software, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, I got to get this new iPhone in September. So we want to do the same thing for your property, create a wait list, create a buzz. And then from today till next week, we're prepping the media, generating a wait list. That way when we launch, not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, 2 weeks from now, we already have a wait list of people that want to see your property. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Thank
I have a
you.
And then, go ahead,
Justin,
sorry.
it's Kimberly J. I have a question. This is all really
Mhm.
great. You just said you do a coming soon for a week. We're in New York. I thought we can't do that. Can you
It's like
expand?
slash private exclusive, Kimberly J.
Okay. Do you have them sign a private exclusive?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. That's all I need.
Sorry, it's Marina. Let me jump in really quick. That's actually one of my questions. Like, how on earth do you market private exclusives? You know, like since you're doing that as well for the week.
Well, I do things on social media, right? So like I'll put like a social media ad up, and I'll then do I'll do a Facebook ad, a Facebook campaign, whether it's through Compass or whether it's through my own personal Facebook and Instagram. And I even do Instagram Reels. Like I'll do Instagram Reels, and then I'll sometimes get brokers that are interested in it. So.
Justin, hi, Margie McShane from Cape Cod. Oh, sorry, was I supposed to raise my hand or
Hi,
something?
Margie.
How are you? So I'm
yeah.
a little confused, and my partner and I go around this all the time, that we are not supposed to advertise private exclusives on social media. Now, I don't know if that's just a Massachusetts thing or a Cape Cod thing, but I thought that was part of the whole coming soons. We can advertise on social media, but I thought private exclusives we could not.
Well, every market is different, right? So for like New York City, technically we could advertise coming soon, but Street Easy will ban us. And I think Kimberly, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Rebney is starting to step in on the coming soon and private exclusive kind of thing. I know Sarah Alinsky, your manager, like they were talking about this like about a month ago. But like every market is, to answer your question, Margie, like every market is different. So you got to check in with like what are the bylaws of your market. But with that said, from my understanding, you can still advertise on social media. You could potentially do a digital ad, but again, I would check in with your sales manager and check your bylaws of your market.
This is Kimberly I've had 2 private exclusives. I'm in Manhattan, and I'm really like a rules person. So I wanted to make sure that I was doing this right. And you cannot do any advertising of a private exclusive. What you could do is on social media, just put pictures up, and but you can't say where it is, hoping someone will say, oh my God, that kitchen was awesome. Where is that? But you cannot actually go out and say, you know, 860 Fifth Avenue, because I had private exclusive there. I can't say that. You just can't do that.
So then you can advertise like two bed, 2 bath co-op coming up in this neighborhood. That's still a way to. And then if someone emails you, then if someone emails you, like what we do when we do a walkthrough of a property, we'll actually take a video, upload it on Google Drive. That way, if anyone does want to see a quick video, like if a broker wants to see a quick video because they have a buyer, we'll send it over to them. And then we'll say, we're going to start showing on X day, and then create the wait list that way.
Justin, I have a question. It's a little different than the current conversation here, but in terms of structuring these, I'm over in New Jersey. So going on a listing presentation, you're there with the client, maybe you sent them some additional information ahead of time. how do you structure taking a view of the home? Do you establish, go through the Med C first, so they feel comfortable with you, and then do you walk around the house? And then if you walk around the house, or you're walking with with the homeowners who never really get a chance to show off their house, and because I find if I'm having them show me the house, my listing presentation or listing meeting becomes 2 hours.
Yeah.
So how do you structure it? I mean, do you have a very defined way that you go about doing this so that you get your points in and you know how to target your presentation to address what their chief concerns are about what they're looking for
That's actually a great question, Susie. So typically we try to go over the Med C on the phone prior to the walkthrough. And then once we go over the Med C, like, just asking them why are they selling, what has been experienced, those kind of questions, like what's most important to them. Then after the initial phone call, to build rapport, right, and go over the Med C, then we send over our initial email before the walkthrough. And that way, and in the email, in the body of the email, not the ending question in the email is, if you have any other questions before our meeting, please email it here. That way we're prepared and we could go over these questions while we meet in person. And then when we do the walkthrough of the home, then if they have any other questions, and we make sure that we bring like our marketing, calendar, brochure with us on the iPad. That way, then we'll go over that after the walkthrough.
And do you walk through the house with them, or do you say I'm putting on my buyer hat?
It's up to them. If they want us to do a walkthrough, I mean, like for us in New York, like it's different from Shore Hills, right? Shore Hills, you show it 2,000 to 4,000 square foot homes.
Right.
New York, I could be looking at a 1-bed co-op, or I could be looking at a 3,000 square foot multifamily in Brooklyn. So it all depends.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That was helpful.
You're welcome. My pleasure. And Susie, feel free to email me for the that email that we sent over. Anyone that wants to email, my email is simple, justin.m@compass.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right, who's next?
Okay, so just in summary, do do the Med C, and then prior to meeting them, do you send a CMA based on what's, and then like a star saying this is based upon market, I still have to adjust when I see it, and then you include your marketing plan and communication plan.
So basically, if I have no clue of like what the property looks like, right? We try to get an idea during our conversation, like, I just mentioned with Susie during the Med C, like when was the last time they did renovations, and like if they did do any renovations, what year did they do it, and what type of renovations. But in our CMA, we will put like properties that like need a gut renovation, right? Or like move-in ready, but need like some type of renovation. Then we put properties that are renovated. We don't give them any price because that's the point of the walkthrough, right? And then in the walkthrough, that's when we go over, what type of what price are they thinking and things like that. So I know your market, Miami, is like, you could kind of throw things on the target board and kind of get those prices. But in New York, we don't have that luxury. We got to be priced really well.
Interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so since nobody's asking, about the marketing, I feel like, so I do the coming soon, and then allegedly I was told that it would be better to do the coming soon on a Friday, and then do, the active on Monday, so people get 2 alerts. And then you do the advertisement on social media and etc. So would you do an open house the following Friday or 2 weeks from then? I feel like I'm not doing enough.
I mean, it's like whatever your system is that has gotten you success, like that's where you should do it. Then if you need to tweak it along the way, do it. Like our system is like what we have on the marketing calendar. That's our system, right? But doesn't mean that system works for everyone's business. At the end of the day, we all have our own business. We have our own lifestyles outside of real estate, and just do what's best, for your business and what gives you success. That's the simplest way to answer that question, if that makes sense.
It does.
Hey, Justin, I have one question. It's Heidi. How are you?
I was
Heidi,
Hey,
hello.
hey. Good. How are you doing? Hey, quick question. So, and everybody could kind of help me on this. So I have some people, I sold a house for them some years back, and they thought I did a great job. He called me to lease a property in another part of town, and he didn't pick me because he said, even though you're the best agent in this part, I did this. Well, the house leased for exactly where I told him it was going to lease, right? So now
Yeah.
he called me yesterday, and they're going to sell that property. And
Okay.
so right away, I did a CMA really quick and spent time and, described the different homes and everything that I was putting there and sent it to him. So he called me and, we had a discussion, but then he said, I'm going to interview another agent, and I just wanted you to know that. And I said, okay. So, and then I just thought, dang it, he's going to choose somebody over there and not me. So I got up and emailed him this morning. There was another email and answered his questions and just said, can we set up a time to sit down and talk and discuss marketing and everything on Wednesday? But how do I get over that hump if he says, well, you're the best agent in Spring Branch, but, we're dealing with the Heights over here. So how would you, come back with that? I mean, I know I can
So
sell it.
I don't know if Chirag would agree with this or not, but like for me, I've dealt with this situation working with developers, and I sometimes have to remind them. Remember exactly what I said that was going to happen on the last property?
Well, that's what I was going to
exactly
tell him.
happened.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell him. If I can get in, I'm going to say, okay, you remember I told you that's where it was going to lease. It's, okay. So
yeah, that's exactly, just give him the reassurance, like, even though you specialize in this neighborhood, you still have your grasp on that neighborhood, and exactly what happened last time is exactly what happened. And I wouldn't be afraid to remind them, and just,
okay.
and like, yes, it could kind of come off as cocky or too confident, but at the end of the day, it's going to reassure him that you know the market. So I think that's okay.
Well, okay. Hopefully I'll get in there. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, let me know. Call me. Okay, guys, so it's 10 o'clock. If you guys have any other questions you could think of, feel free to email me. I'll send you guys a video message. I'm heading down to Miami today. Going to be at the Fort Lauderdale sales meeting tomorrow. So if you guys are going to be there, we'd love to see you. And I'll also be on 12:30. So if you guys want to come back on, I'd love to see you. Happy
Thank you
Monday,
so much,
everyone.
Justin.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.